I really can't. So it happened, guys. WandaVision had its series finale last week, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking all about WandaVision episode 9, all the references, cool Easter eggs, and my favorite moments of the series finale of WandaVision. But before we get started, if this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, I'm Rafa, and I am a huge movie fan. So if you're a fan just like me, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so that way we can all be fans together. So let's get started. I gotta be honest, guys, it's been hard these last couple of days processing everything that happened in episode 9 of WandaVision. I'm still in shock, but I do have to address the recent conversation regarding the series finale of WandaVision that it left some people underwhelmed or that the show didn't live up to the hype, and I'm like, really? What people are complaining about is that Mephisto or Nightmare, these big villains from the comics, didn't make an appearance in the show, that there were no important MCU cameos, and that even Peters as Ralph Boner was a complete waste of a character. Okay, I might sort of agree with that last argument, but let's address the Mephisto or Nightmare situation. The series of WandaVision was already 7 episodes in, and shoehorning a character like Mephisto or Nightmare would have felt so rushed and quite frankly unnecessary. When it was clear that the series was emphasizing that Agnes was going to be the villain all along, and if they would have included Mephisto, that would have undermined and sidelined Catherine Hahn's character of Agnes. And when it comes to that there were no MCU cameos, I do know that the actors were teasing that there was going to be some surprise Luke Skywalker level cameo that never really happened. But me being such a Scarlet Witch fan, am I upset that WandaVision didn't have any cameos? No! I'm just thrilled to have spent all these last few weeks with my favorite Avenger, Scarlet Witch, and that she finally got to have the recognition that she's been deserving. I mean, after all, the show is called WandaVision, not WandaVision: The Rise of Mephisto. And I am so happy with the series finale of WandaVision, guys, because this show was all about Wanda dealing with her grief, and by the end of this episode, she comes to terms with her grief and with her life and with her destiny. This show is about Wanda accepting her destiny and accepting herself as the Scarlet Witch. Instead of introducing mutants to the MCU with this show, the show introduced us to witches, and I am so happy about that, not only because I love witches, but because that is something that will be new to the MCU, and it just makes it more fantastical, and I love Scarlet Witch embracing herself as a full-on witch. This show gave us a lot of wonderful things related to Wanda. We got her romance with Vision, we got her family with her twins, and a brand new Scarlet Witch amazing costume, and a very interesting villain with Agatha Harkness. So let's break down the finale of WandaVision with episode 9. So we're back in the middle of the street with Wanda, Agatha, and the twins. Wanda is like, go to your room. This is between witches, boys. And as many of you suspected, Agatha was trying to suck all of the magic from Wanda, I guess for her to become the Scarlet Witch. And then Wanda, using one of her moves that she likes to do a lot, hits Agatha with a car, and I just loved the Wizard of Oz reference with the witch boots. It was amazing. Then White Vision shows up, he sees Wanda, and Wanda's all like, Vision? And we all knew that he was not to be trusted, and then sure enough, he starts to squeeze Wanda, and Elizabeth Olsen is selling it with the face acting. Ugh, I loved it. Then Vision shows up to help Wanda, and he's like, I know what you did, Wanda, and she's like, I can fix it. This is our home. And then Vision has this great line where he's like, then let's fight for it. Guys, it was so epic. I couldn't. Then Monica is watching all the action go down from Pietro's room, and in the whole interaction with Monica and Pietro, she finds out that he's actually an actor and that his real name is Ralph Boner. Yeah, I think not actually using the Fox's Quicksilver, even though the multiverse is coming, was not the best way to bring even Peters into the MCU. So we go back with Wanda and Agatha reveals the Darkhold, this witchy ancient book where she tells Wanda about what it means to be the Scarlet Witch. She says, "You are more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme." Did you guys catch that Doctor Strange reference? And your destiny is to destroy the world. Are we going to see that? And then Agatha takes the spell out of all the civilians, and we see Dottie telling Wanda, "My girl is the same age as your boys. Maybe they could be friends. Can you just let her out of her room?" That was proving that Wanda was keeping all of the kids of Westview locked in their rooms. She didn't give them any storylines. Wow, that was so sad and cruel. And then Agatha lets everybody in the town free of the spell. They see Wanda and they start pleading her to let them leave. And if she's not going to let them go, that they'd rather be dead than to continue doing this. Damn, guys, honestly, that was intense. Then Wanda, of course, freaks out. She can't take all of this anymore, and she starts choking all of the neighbors. And Agatha's like, "Are you a villain? Let them go then." And Wanda finally decides to let everybody go and starts pulling back the hex. And everybody just starts running for their lives, literally. So because the hex has now an opening, that's when Hayward and his people decide to enter Westview. Now Wanda, as she's doing this, realizes that she's also getting rid of her family. And Agatha's like, "You can't have both," and of course closes the hex again. Then we get this awesome shot of them as a family that honestly reminded me of The Incredibles. It was so awesome, and everybody had to go fight their respective villains. Then Vision goes on to fight Vision in a library. Then they start talking about a ship, and if either are the real ship, then Vision is like, "Here, let me refresh your memory." Gives White Vision some backstory on everything with Wanda and the real Vision. Now this Vision gets real eyes, like if he's a real human now with a soul, and basically just flies off away from the action. Then we go back to Agatha, and I love this line that she says, "Same story, different century. There are always people with pitchforks for gals like us." And now we see that Wanda can now make herself disappear, but she can also teleport. That is setting up Wanda like she's also a very fast learner that will come into play later on in this episode. So Hayward decides to shoot the kids even though he knows they are superpowered. So he sets fire, and Monica comes in between them and turns into some being of light. It's still unclear how her powers work, but she slows down the bullet and she misses one, but Billy uses his magic to stop it with his blue magic. Then we get this moment that we haven't seen Wanda do since Age of Ultron, where she gives Agatha a nightmare. So we go back to Salem, which I love, but things don't go how Wanda planned, because then the other witches start calling Wanda the Scarlet Witch. And then they all put Wanda at the stake, and I loved how Wanda's crown suddenly appears, and Agatha tells Wanda, "I'll make a deal with you. If you give me your powers, I'll let you live in this fantasy." But Wanda, of course, says, "No, you are evil," so she breaks off this spell. And now they are fighting in the sky, and Wanda's looking really bad. She keeps trying to hit Agatha, and Agatha is all like, "Wow, you really missed." But what Agatha doesn't realize is that she's casting runes. And Agatha, as she's about to kill Wanda, Agatha realizes that she doesn't have any magic. But that's because Wanda casted those runes, because she learned that only the witch that puts the runes can use the magic in that space. So Wanda pulls all of her chaos magic back to her and gives herself the new Scarlet Witch costume, you guys. Guys, it really looks freaking amazing. I love the new update of this costume. It was about damn time that Scarlet Witch got a new costume in the MCU. So she brings down Agatha, and she decides not to kill her, but to keep her in Westview as the role that she casted herself in as a nosy neighbor. And Agatha says, "You don't know what you become. You're going to need me." And Wanda says, "Then I'll know where to find you." So then she starts to shrink the hex, and it's so sad because we all know what that means. They tuck their children in this emotional scene, and Wanda says, "Thank you for choosing me as your mom." So it was pretty sad at this point, guys. And now Vision and Wanda see the Hex coming towards them, and they have this emotional goodbye. And Wanda tells Vision that, well, he is, that he's a piece of the Mind Stone that lives inside of her. He mainly is her love. And then Vision said, "We've said goodbye before, but it stands to reason that we'll say hello again." And then he disappears. It was so sad, but now Wanda seems to be feeling a bit better, so she's back at the lot and she's hiding from everyone, of course. But Monica tells her, "Hey, I would have done the same thing if that meant I could have seen my mom again." So that was a really great moment. So she turns back into her Scarlet Witch costume, adding now a hood and cape, and is flying over Westview, takes one look back, and that was the end of WandaVision. And then for the post-credit scenes, we see a movie theater, and it is revealed that this woman is a Skrull and says that a friend of your mom would like to talk to you up there. And I think that's of course referring to Nick Fury that wants to contact Monica up there in space, and that she's like, yeah, great, I'm going to space. And then we have the final end credit scene where we're far deep into the mountains, and I think this is Wanda's home of Sokovia, and she's relaxing, she's living her life alone in peace. So she's making tea, but in the other room, she's astral projecting herself as a Scarlet Witch, probably most likely studying the Darkhold and learning everything about witches. And as she's reading, she hears her boys call out to her and say, "Mom, help!" And then we get this final look of Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch with a "time to save my kids" look on her face, and I loved it. So that is episode 9 of WandaVision, my review and my commentary. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Anyway guys, that's it from me. I'm Rafa, your Latin friend over here from Hollywood, California, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.